For more than 4.5 millennia, the Great Pyramid of Giza has loomed over the desert like a sentinel of stone. Rising nearly 150 meters into the sky, built from more than 2 million limestone blocks, it has stood against the passage of time, against looters, earthquakes, and centuries of wind and sand. To the ancients, it was a gateway to the heavens, a ladder of stone by which a king's soul could rise among the stars. To us, it is one of humanity's greatest enigmas, a monument so vast, so precise, that it still challenges our understanding of ancient engineering. And yet, for all its majesty, the pyramid has always guarded its deepest truths. Legends told of hidden chambers, secret spaces known only to priests and builders, but for centuries such tales were dismissed as fantasy. Scholars insisted the Great Pyramid had given up its secrets long ago. No hidden rooms, no lost tombs, just empty corridors, looted chambers, and bare stone. But that certainty has crumbled. In 2017, a team of international researchers launched Scan Pyramids, a project using cosmic ray muon tomography to peer into the pyramid's heart without cutting through its stones. Muons, subatomic particles born in the upper atmosphere, rain down on Earth constantly, passing through solid matter. By tracking how many muons penetrated different areas of the pyramid, scientists could map its interior. What they found shocked the world. A vast void, hidden above the Grand Gallery, untouched since the age of Khufu. It was no minor anomaly. The cavity rivaled the size of the Queen's chamber, and its deliberate placement suggested intent. Suddenly, the old legends didn't sound so implausible after all. The question burned. What was inside? At first, many dismissed it as an architectural quirk, a relieving space meant to lighten the weight of stone above the gallery. But others argued it was something more. Could it be Khufu's true burial chamber, long hidden from looters? Could it hold relics, papyrus scrolls, or treasures undreamed of? After all, no royal mummy has ever been found in the pyramid. Not Khufu, not anyone. His sarcophagus in the king's chamber lies empty. Where was the pharaoh himself? The mystery grew irresistible. In 2023, technology offered a way forward. A team from Cairo University, working with international partners, developed a microdrone unlike any ever used in archaeology. Barely larger than a bird, it was designed to slip into spaces no human could reach. Its carbon fiber frame was lightweight yet strong, its tiny rotors engineered for silent flight within confined stone shafts. Mounted at its front were high-resolution cameras capable of capturing details invisible to the naked eye. Along its body were fitted spectroscopy instruments to analyze pigments and minerals, as well as environmental sensors to record temperature, humidity, and electromagnetic fluctuations. It was, in every sense, a probe into the past, an artificial eye that could go where no one had gone for 45 centuries. When the drone lifted off and entered the narrow opening, the room where the team watched fell silent. On the screens, the view shifted from the worn limestone passages of the pyramid into uncharted darkness. The void revealed itself slowly, like a secret reluctant to be told. Dust motes stirred by the drone's passage drifted across the camera's beam of light, glittering like stars in a night sky. And then the chamber opened before them. It was no mere hollow pocket in the stone. The walls themselves seemed to breathe with history. Faint traces of pigment emerged under the drone's lamps, red ochre, smeared and brushed into cryptic lines. They were not ornate carvings, not the stylized hieroglyphs one finds in temples or tomb walls, but something humbler, almost workmanlike. Symbols half erased by time, lines drawn with hurried hands, marks that spoke not to gods or kings, but to fellow laborers. To the astonishment of the archaeologists, these markings looked strikingly similar to those discovered in the hidden relieving chambers above the king's chamber decades earlier, graffiti left by the work crews of Khufu himself. Those earlier scrawls, bearing names of gangs like the Friends of Khufu, had once revealed that the Great Pyramid was not the work of slaves, but of organized teams of skilled workers. Now, here in this untouched chamber, were their signatures again, hence of the very people who moved stone, who sweated under the desert sun, who built immortality block by block. For the first time in over 4 millennia, the hands of the builders reached across time. The grandeur of Khufu's vision, the towering pyramid, the alignment with the stars, the majesty of eternal stone was undeniable. But these markings revealed something more intimate, the human scale of that ambition. Men laughing, arguing, calling themselves by proud nicknames, scrawling notes that were never meant for eternity but that endured all the same. Here, in the dim light of the drone's camera, the myth of the pharaoh's monument gave way to something real, tangible, the fingerprints of the people who made it possible. It was not gold, nor jewels, nor sarcophagi that transfixed the archaeologists as they stared at the feed. It was this, humble graffiti written in ochre by men whose names history forgot. For the first time, we were not simply looking at the pharaoh's eternal dream. We were looking at the very hands that built it. On the chamber floor lay fragments of stone vessels and pottery, their shapes broken, but their purpose still clear. Offerings. Most intriguing of all was a sealed alabaster box, too heavy to move. Using spectroscopy, the team probed inside. What they detected astonished them. Traces of organic residue, possibly food offerings sealed away in the darkness. Bread, beer, or something more symbolic. Whatever it was, it had survived untouched for 45 centuries. Yet the chamber had one more surprise. Sensors picked up unusual fluctuations in the electromagnetic field around the alabaster box. At first, the researchers suspected interference from dense limestone, but the anomaly persisted. Could the ancient builders have intentionally designed a chamber that manipulated energy, sound, or resonance in ways we are only beginning to study? The idea is controversial, yet impossible to dismiss. The Great Pyramid is famed for its precise alignment with the cardinal points, its shafts pointing toward Orion's belt and Sirius. It is as much a cosmic instrument as a tomb. Could this chamber have been part of that larger design? Whispers spread quickly. Some Egyptologists suggested it was a star chamber, a symbolic sanctuary meant to unite Khufu with the heavens. Others believed it was a decoy, carefully stocked with offerings to mislead tomb robbers, while the true burial chamber lies elsewhere, still undiscovered. More radical voices spoke of dormant mechanisms, hidden functions engineered by minds far ahead of their time. The truth is, we do not know. But the discovery forces us to confront a haunting fact. Khufu's body has never been found. The greatest king of Egypt's old kingdom, the man who commanded the building of the largest pyramid on earth, remains missing. Could this chamber have been meant for him? Or is it only the first clue in a labyrinth of passages yet to be revealed? For if one chamber lay hidden for 4,500 years, how many more might there be?
The Great Pyramid has always been more than stone stacked in desert sand. Its proportions encode mysteries of mathematics and astronomy. Its passages align with stars. Some see in it a cosmic map, a monument designed not only for the dead but for eternity itself. Perhaps this newly discovered chamber is part of that code, a message carved in silence, waiting for an age advanced enough to understand it. And yet, as monumental as this discovery is, Giza was not done with us. In early 2025, another announcement electrified the archaeological world. Beneath the Pyramid of Khafre, the second great monument of Giza, built by Khufu's son, researchers uncovered evidence of something extraordinary. A vast city buried deep beneath the sands. Using ground-penetrating radar and seismic surveys, they traced the outlines of walls, streets, and structures sprawling beneath the plateau. It was not just a workers' camp or storage area. It was an urban settlement, larger and more complex than anyone expected, hidden beneath one of the greatest monuments of antiquity. The implications are staggering. For centuries, scholars have seen the Giza Plateau as primarily funerary, a necropolis for kings. But if an entire city lies beneath Khafre's pyramid, then Giza was more than a cemetery. It was a living complex, a hub of culture, religion, and administration. Was this city home to the builders who raised the pyramids? Was it a sacred underworld settlement meant to mirror the heavens? Or was it something older, a forgotten community over which the pharaohs built their monuments? Imagine walking through its buried streets. Perhaps there were workshops filled with artisans shaping stone, bakeries feeding thousands of laborers, scribal schools recording accounts of grain and copper. Perhaps there were shrines, humble or grand, where prayers rose to gods we barely remember. If even fragments of papyri survived there, records, names, lists, they could transform our understanding of the Old Kingdom. And if Khafre's pyramid conceals such a city, what of Khufu's? Could the Great Pyramid itself stand atop more than sand? Could the plateau be layered like a palimpsest, each generation building not just atop the desert, but upon the bones and walls of those who came before? The thought is dizzying. Together, these two revelations, the hidden chamber of Khufu and the buried city beneath Khafre, rewrite the story of Giza. For centuries, the pyramids seemed eternal and mute, frozen relics of a dead past. But now they speak again. They whisper of builders who left their marks in secret voids, of offerings sealed in alabaster, of cities buried under stone giants. They remind us that Giza is not finished. It is not solved. It is alive with mysteries still waiting to be uncovered. What then are we to make of it all? Perhaps Khufu's true tomb lies deeper still, concealed not by chance but by design, shielded with layers of illusion meant to deceive even the most determined intruder. The ancients understood human greed all too well. They knew that looters would come, men armed with chisels and fire, driven by dreams of treasure. And so they built decoys, false chambers, elaborate traps of stone that would lead plunderers astray. Could the alabaster box so carefully placed be one such deception? A token left in sight place, meant to satisfy intruders while the pharaoh's real resting place lay untouched in darkness far below? Or could it be more than a decoy, a vessel of ritual power, a vessel tied to ceremonies we no longer comprehend?
The electromagnetic anomalies surrounding it only deepen the riddle. Were they accidents of geology? The random play of stone and energy? Or did the builders harness principles of resonance, acoustics, even electromagnetism that we are only now rediscovering? The Great Pyramid hums with alignments. Its shafts point to Orion's belt. Its proportions echo the earth itself. To dismiss these patterns as coincidence feels willfully blind. Could it be that the pyramid was not merely a tomb, but a machine, a monument designed to channel forces between heaven and earth? A coded message etched in stone, not for Khufu's priests, but for some future civilization capable of deciphering it. It is tempting, humbling even, to imagine that the ancients knew more than we give them credit for. That their knowledge of the stars, of cycles of sun and moon, of mathematics and geometry was not primitive at all, but profound. Perhaps the Great Pyramid was their way of preserving this knowledge, locking it inside a riddle that only time itself could unlock. And then there is the lost city beneath Khafre's pyramid. If confirmed, it could prove to be the key to everything. Cities tell stories in ways monuments cannot. A single papyrus fragment, a ledger of supplies, a fragment of law, such things would give voice to the builders themselves. Who were they? Skilled laborers honored for their craft? Devoted worshippers raising stone in service to the gods? Or entire communities, men and women, children and elders, bound together in the shadow of the pyramids? This buried settlement could reveal whether Giza was simply a necropolis, a city of the dead, or something infinitely more complex, a living city where daily life and eternal ritual intertwined, where the realm of gods and men overlapped. For centuries, we believed the pyramids had already yielded their secrets, that they were known quantities, mapped and measured, explained by textbooks and tours. But we were wrong. The sands still conceal their truths. The stones still whisper in silence, speaking not in words, but in alignments, in echoes, in mysteries carved into chambers no eye has seen for thousands of years. And with each new discovery, the questions multiply. Why did Khufu's body vanish? Was it stolen? Or was it hidden so perfectly that no hand, ancient or modern, has ever reached it? Why was the chamber above the Grand Gallery concealed so carefully, sealed away as though it were never meant to be opened? Why does an entire city lie beneath Khufu's pyramid, forgotten, erased from history? What other chambers, what other corridors remain entombed in stone, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? Archaeology, we learn, is not the art of closing the book on history. It is the art of opening it wider, of admitting that for every answer found, 10 more questions arise. And nowhere is this truer than at Giza. Far from being exhausted relics, the pyramids are proving to be inexhaustible wells of mystery, each discovery a reminder that we are only at the beginning of understanding. Perhaps one day we will uncover the ultimate secret, Khufu's body or his true tomb, or a library of stone recording knowledge beyond our imagining. Or perhaps the pyramids will keep their silence, outlasting us all, their riddles forever sealed in stone. Until then, we stand humbled before them, listening for whispers in the dark.
One thing is certain. The Great Pyramid is not finished telling its story. The discovery of this chamber and the buried city may only be the beginning, a breadcrumb trail leading us deeper, closer to truths the ancients worked so hard to hide. Perhaps, in time, we will find Khufu himself. Perhaps we will uncover writings, treasures, or technologies long thought lost. Or perhaps the pyramid will outlast us all, keeping its final secret forever sealed in stone. Until then, the riddle of Giza remains, and it waits.